I have no idea how I was able to pull this off, but I went back to EA a few weeks ago, and this time it was to play cover athlete Donovan Edwards in College Football 25. Luckily, I've been given permission to react to the raw gameplay, plus EA just premiered their cut-up version on their channel, so I have loads of footage of College Football 25 to show you all, and some behind-the-scenes clips of what it was like there too, because let me tell you, this entire thing was awesome. I'm just so thankful for all of you for putting me in this position, and also EA for having me out there for this event. But let's just go ahead and get into this first game, where of course Donovan Edwards is using Michigan, and then they made me use Texas here at the big house. I want to show you all some of the presentation. I'm not sure how much all of this made the final cut, but it all looks really cool, and I'm glad that I can show some stuff that didn't make that, just so you'll have some additional context throughout these two games against Donovan Edwards. Before those matchups though, I got there hours before, and this was the room I walked into. There was this full stage that I was going to be on. There was also a presentation booth, and by the time we started playing, it felt like there were about 50 people in the room. I ended up having to take a close look at some of the cameras. I was told that this was worth like $30,000, and while I waited for Donovan to get there, I got to mess around in a couple of games and get a better feel for the gameplay. After that, he got there, and he was an amazing dude, but I didn't want to shove a camera in his face for more behind the scenes footage. I felt like that's kind of odd to do the first time you meet somebody. So the footage I have starts to dwindle down. There's me getting excited for being mic'd up for the first time ever, and because it was a full presentation, they also made sure to touch up my face too. Apparently they need to clean up my acne or something. So on the other side of this, I might be something that's actually appealing to look at. Okay, my makeup has been done. I guess I just glow more now. And after that, this is the final clip that I have left before we're ready to get into the gameplay. We're now like 15 minutes out from going live. Donovan's gotten here. We're getting set up. Super cool dude so far. And hopefully he doesn't destroy me in College Football 25. Now I will say, when me and Donovan were talking before, I asked him if he was much of a gamer, and he told me that he really wasn't much of one, but I guess we're about to find out whether or not that's true, because it's time to get into this first look.
Come on! This goddamn, that's me for you, baby! Get in there! Everybody eats around here. Everybody eats.
What an exciting time to be a college football fan. And we are so happy to be able to bring you this gameplay first look of College Football 25.
Oh, I'm excited. I want to see how they cut this
up.
up.
A little talent. On one side, if you follow in Twitter, if you follow college football at all, you know the name Bordeaux.
Absolutely.
And on the other side,
by the way, by the time that this is going live, I think we're down to like 15 teams. So make sure you follow me over on Twitter if you haven't already to find out my first rebuild in College Football 25.
You might recognize him as one of the cover athletes of College Football 25 from the University of Michigan. Donovan Edwards.
You know what? Thanks for having me on here, man. Just looking at this system right now, and just being able to like look at the graphics of this, it's very spot on right here. They got the Big House theme song in here, so I'm very excited to play.
What's so cool about that is that was his first time ever seeing any of this. It's his first time playing the game, and I'm very curious where they decide to start this footage from. Looks like we are going to get the kickoff.
Here with you alongside two very important people. We've got Scott O'Gallagher. You might hear us refer to him as
Scott's
OG.
awesome.
And we've got Sykes,
so is Sykes.
Along with
so
us.
Is Nick.
We're about to play Michigan brand of football, gentlemen.
Oh, we're about to get the ground and pound. This is going to be terrible.
Michigan brand of football.
I'm in trouble. All right. I knew it. I called it out. Though we're starting on a 3rd and 3, and this is what I'm talking about. The EA cut-up was designed to show you all the new features in the game while showing some of the plays from our matchups, but I've been given permission to show you all this raw footage too, so we're going to break this down as well. On the first play, he had a touchdown on the right side of the field, but luckily for me, I didn't see it, and then he went with a little handoff using himself to get like 7 yards. That's what set up this 3rd and 3 that they're about to show, and remember, we can see each other's plays. I didn't want to guard anything that he already showed me because we are playing next to each other, and anytime there's missing context between plays, I'll make sure to show it, but let's get back to the EA reaction.
There it is,
so
baby.
It's the same play.
There it is, baby. Come on, Martin.
A great ball. So you see that's our brand new revamp passing right there. That's the blue. It's a safer throw that he made. There's blue, yellow, red. You know, obviously the more that you're in the red, the more off target a throw is going to be. Good throw there for Donovan.
Yeah,
so
you don't want to be
like
in the red.
Bullseye system, right? And you know, Bill Walsh said it best about every pass being 6 inch off the numbers. So we wanted to really work off of that and get rid of the throws that might have been 20+ yards over a head or anything random. Now, if you're hitting in the red, you're throwing it now off target.
That's very true. You don't want to get in the red on College Football 25. There is a chance you can still catch it, but it normally goes behind your player. So ideally, you just want to make sure that the meter stays blue, because if you get into the yellow zone, it can also be inaccurate. And this was still one of my first times playing, so I was still figuring it out.
Still catchable, right? But, you know, drop chances increase and things of that nature.
Okay. He just went in on what I was saying, too.
Boys, this graphic stuff is real. It got me looking. They got us looking to the sideline. Yeah, I like that. They got us looking to the sideline.
I forgot that he pointed that out in this video. So they circled it pre-play, but whenever you audible, they are going to look over to the sideline to get that information from the coach. And it looks like this footage has jumped all the way up to 1 minute left in the first quarter. I'm very curious about how Donovan got there. It's been a few weeks since I played against him, so I forgot most of these plays. And I think it's good to have a gameplay breakdown from EA, but also just see this raw footage so you can see what the gameplay's like. I did get frustrated with that ball because I did have that linebacker right there and he just didn't react to it, but I haven't seen this since. And all the gameplay that you see from these two games was on a work in progress build. I also feel like I have to mention how awesome Scott was whenever it came to the gameplay. When I was playing beforehand, he was watching all of this stuff like a hawk, and you could tell how much he cared that everything looked and felt as realistic and fun as possible. I think it's really important to have guys like that behind the gameplay. It's probably my favorite part of College Football 25. And I think we've caught up to where the video's at on EA's version, so we'll go over to that.
Yeah, I like that. They got us looking to the sideline and all that.
Oh, that one's up the middle too.
Get off of me, cuz. Get off of me, cuz. I don't care if he hit me like that. Get off of me, cuz. Oh, they got my boy Ben Hall in the game now. Ooh, my boy Ben Hall.
As you can tell, Donovan's an absolute character. I'm pretty sure after that play, though, is when things started to go wrong.
Big 3rd and 6 here for Donovan.
Come on.
Donovan's getting to Donovan.
Okay.
It's too easy.
All right, I just have to shout out for a second. The stick work that Mr. Donovan Edwards just showed on that play.
Crazy.
That's part of what the gameplay is all about this year. That extra responsiveness, the control that you get with the ball carrier. That's a huge part of the college football experience.
He's definitely right about that. Not only is it fast, but it feels like you have full control of your player to make them do whatever you want, and there's some sick skill moves in there.
Yep.
Donovan, how did running the football feel?
It felt like I was out there, you know what I'm saying? But for me, though, I'm able to, like, read the defense a little. I'm able to read it, like, you know what I'm saying, like how I'm playing it in a game, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm going up against. Somebody that knows how to read a defense like in a game. And he's also just one of the best running backs in the nation, so he's going to have amazing vision. I want to get one final look at that play just without all of the edits going around. It was such a smooth cut, and I don't blame them for wanting to show this off a ton.
The stick work was very easy to maneuver.
So here as we come to the line and Ewers is at the line.
Wait, I think that this jumped ahead very far. I was right about that. First, we have the kickoff where I was trying to teach Donovan how to do it. Once you hold down the button there, you have to keep on holding it so the bar actually kicks it far, and he didn't know that. He thought you just tapped it once you got in the middle of the bar. And one of my favorite things is just the presentation of your players whenever you're going out there on the field. Because we're playing on 3-minute quarters, you can see that there's about no time left in this first one already. And if you're wondering what some of the presentation would look like after you go from quarter to quarter, this is what you see. The helmets always look good on this game. And then they have these team stats screens to display stuff even more. I think I finally get to call out my staple for College Football 25 though, and it's the jet touch passes. You all are going to see that a ton this year. And I honestly love using them. You can get a lot of players into motion as well, and that's what I did on this play, taking my flat, and I think I was able to get like 5 or 6. We're caught up now though, so let's hear Scott break down what's going on underneath Quinn Ewers. He has the impact player symbol, and then there's other stuff that he's going to talk about.
So here as we come to the line and Ewers is at the line, you're looking at the player reticle here, right? The right is your fatigue stamina, and then on the left is your wear and tear. And wear and tear is basically 5 different pips. That's just showing you the body part that is hurt the most.
Sure.
That's it. So it could be an ankle, it could be an elbow.
And there I am, Quinn Ewers. It looks just like me on this game. I was face scanned when I was at EA, so now you can wonder if that's actually me. And I'm sure they're going to talk about this more, but you can see you don't want your quarterback's throwing arm to be hurt because that could impact him with like -6 throw power. But even if things do get severe, I'm pretty sure it's capped at like 15 or 20 in a certain category, but that's still a ton. This is obviously a huge thing for Dynasty because it will carry over from week to week, but I didn't think it was something that was that noticeable.
And then it will fluctuate in colors. It will go straight from green, light green, yellow, orange, and red. The more that these are down, the more attribute hits that.
Is there a rating that affects how much the wear and tear is going to affect your player?
Absolutely. Yep. It is the toughness rating, right? So the toughness is playing into the impact of the hit. We're looking at recovery. That's a great. Oh, got to make a tackle there.
You can hear Donovan.
One of the new things that we've added to college is the pitch types. So now you basically have 3 different pitches you can do. You've got your quick pitches.
By the way, I had no clue that there were different pitch types whenever I threw that, but it was great because it allowed them to talk about the moment. I've always just tapped for it, but after seeing this breakdown of strong pitch, maybe I shouldn't.
Strong pitches and fake pitches. quick pitches are basically going to be to get you out of a tight spot. The animation's going to be quick, but the ball might hang. It might not hit the pitch back perfectly in stride. But then on your strong pitches, which you're going to get by holding the pitch button, the animation might take a little bit longer, but it's going to hit the guy in stride. The ball speed's going to be quicker. And then, of course, fake pitching, that's just to rub it in your opponent's face.
It's just going to be rude when you do that.
Exactly. That's just going to be the taunt, basically.
If you pull that off.
But, yeah, that's how we've tried to approach the option space.
Okay.
Hell no!
Come on, man.
I'm on it. Oh, I see it.
Listen, if y'all have watched my channel, you would know I throw blind reads all the time. But how did we get all the way down the field in the first place? It looks like I was able to get 5 or 6. And then with my next play, I made a good read, which is a rare thing to do. But I promise, I'm not blind 100% of the time. And again, I did that here. I was proud that I was able to find a receiver there. So I was feeling pretty confident. He hadn't shown any signs of resistance so far until this play. That was what led to the next one where he lurked me perfectly. I mean, he is smart on the defensive side of the ball. I don't think he's just good at offense. And the next clip that they showed wasn't until a 3rd and 10, so look at this on 1st and 10. I almost had it. I felt like I had to lock in. I feel more comfortable on defense than offense. I couldn't believe the turnover I made. And I think it's time for my big moment to shine right here. I think this is it, like I said, and yes, it was. I got an interception right back. Now it's time to see how everybody else reacted to that. I'm pretty sure they used this to display a feature in the game. They talked in my ear telling me to do something, and there it is. No one
Bordeaux,
said anything.
was that
now.
a covered shell?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had cover 3 out there, and I switched it to cover 2.
Okay.
That is a major change. Adding in these coverage shells, taking the old version of what is baseline, and now instead giving you the ability to show different defenses and then disguise exactly what you're doing.
They honestly saved me with that, by the way. Because I was able to score right after, and they told me in my ear to do that so they could talk about it. But if you didn't understand the breakdown, basically I came out in a cover 3, 1 safety high, so he thought it was cover 3, and then using the defensive adjustments, you can show a different coverage, so I went over and showed 2. And when I did that, that is what backed up this safety right here, making it look like a cover 2 or a cover 4 look, and I think that's what confused him since he definitely knows how to read a defense. After that play, I had the ball, I took a nice little check down here, going back to the spin move, and then I want to showcase this. I can put any hot route out there on the field, so I put my running back on a Texas route, hit it immediately, and that's how I scored. Because of the type of person I am, though, I don't have the awesome reactions that Donovan gives, so I get in
there, touchdown,
and I barely react at all. So there's not much to show there, so I'm sure they'll go to something else.
Something that players used for a long time was baseline, and it was with that intent to disguise your look on defense, but now you're getting more control in that you can show, depending on the formation that you call, you can show up to 5 or 6 different alignments in pre-play on defense. So instead of having baseline, now you have even more control than you did before.
Okay, so what they're basically saying is what I showed you all on the field, you can do before you go out as well. So let's say you call cover 3. If you adjust it in the menu, your safeties will come out with 2 safeties high like it's a cover 2.
By being able to say, for example, okay, I'm going to call cover 3, but I'm going to show a cover 0 blitz look to make you think I'm blitzing, but really it's just like a drop coverage. And this is something like core fans have just, they've wanted this for years, so I'm so glad we were able to deliver it.
And then with 7 seconds left in the half, I remember this. This is what happened.
Get away from me, cuz. What's wrong with you? To the crib.
Can Donovan get to the house? Can Donovan get out of here? Let's Donovan connection!
Let's go!
That's crazy. That's actually crazy.
Donovan doesn't know about all the different new celebrations that are in the game. There's over 20 new touchdown celebrations.
They used this as a moment to talk about the celebrations, but I was devastated. And I don't know if I pointed this out or not, but you can see that they had these massive smoke machines going off every single time that we scored a touchdown. It's also not in the picture, but there's people over here on this right side, there's people in front of us, there's people on the cameras, so there were a lot of eyes on this game. And I don't think he even wanted to score before the half. He was just handing it off, trying to take it there, doing the right thing. But no, my defense decided to not show up here. That juke move that he pulled off was filthy. Doesn't look like somebody that doesn't game too much pulling off stuff like that. But my players just couldn't catch him. His breakaway speed on the game is nuts. As for the 20 touchdown celebrations in the game, I'll let Scott talk about them. You select them like you would in FIFA or I guess FC now. But just know that my favor's the Rock the Baby.
So we're not looking at just 4 for each direction. You have a lot of
you can hit the Heisman pose. You can do the salute.
That's in there.
There's a lot there. You can rock the baby. Everything is in there.
They just can't put Heisman on that page because of legal reasons. But I'm almost positive that it's this left bumper, the L2 on PlayStation, and then this right stick going over to the left at at the same time. To start the second half, they have me on a 3rd and 16. So let's see how that happened. Plus also take a look at the halftime update. It looks like you're going to get the score originally, and then the player spotlight comes up for the player that's performed best. Obviously, it had to be Donovan himself. And then you'll get a couple replays with the score just showing your best plays from the half. I swear, this touchdown run is identical to what he did against Washington in the national championship to open things up with his breakaway speed. And let's see if he figured out the kick meter. He held on for too long here, which is going to get a full power kick. It's not the end of the world for kickoffs, but whenever you're attempting field goals, you do not want that to happen or you're going to shank it. They did have me on a 3rd and 16 though, so I'm very curious about how I got there. Of course, the jet touch pass has to come out. Going laterally in this game is so much fun, and I'm sure I'm going to use it at more points. It is literally my staple. On the next play though, I just didn't get the ball out in time. I had triangle open. And then going up to the line, you'll see that the clock is running down. I made way too many audibles, and that's what caused this penalty flag. And basically the counter is don't make 50 hot routes whenever there's 3 seconds left on the play clock. Before we go back to EA's footage though, I have to show this play because the stadium pulse was going nuts. It's 3rd and 16 and I delivered a laser. I'm sure that they're going to talk about it too, but it might be one of my only good reads, so I want to recap
Bro,
it.
that's a dot.
Woo, bro. That was an absolute dot, right? And so
Yep.
that was that's when we were talking about revamp passing. Left stick intent was there to be able to throw somebody open, layer the football.
Yeah, Scott, that was not on purpose. I did not mean to do that, but thank you for giving me credit for it. Sometimes if you're bad enough, you can do good things accidentally.
A lot have heard about us talk about that, whether it's the blog or the video deep dive, but that was priority A #1. That was a great example of that right there.
You do feel like you have a ton of control with your passes, though. Look at that spin move as well.
That's
That
a
was
shot. He's going to
filthy.
feel that. He's going to feel that.
Okay, boys. Whoever edited this video saw this disgusting move, but on the instant replay, we show the hit instead. I told you all that I'm a huge fan of the spin move, though.
You like that circle.
Bordeaux, how's that spin move feeling?
I'm loving the spin move.
The spin is back.
Spin move.
It's back in play.
The spin is back for sure.
They're starting to notice. Wait,
Come on,
how
bro.
does he
Oh,
have
there
the
goes
ball?
There
What
goes
has
Donovan.
happened? I feel like some context has been missing, so we're going to start at this play with the raw gameplay. And please tell me I didn't throw another interception. That would not be a good look. You can see my stick work still is not pretty. I am not the best. It's good that I'm finally reviewing some of my film. And I want to point out that I held down too long on that pass meter. It caused it to go from blue to yellow, which could be a little bit more inaccurate. It's not as bad as red, but it's also probably the main reason that my running back dropped the ball. And that put me on a 3rd and 11 in the 16th toughest place to play. I did not have any confidence that I was going to be able to pick this up, and I didn't. I think I'm starting to remember what happened now. I was on a 4th and 3. I probably put the running back on a Texas route because they work pretty well, and there it is, another drop. It's the same thing that happened to me a couple plays before. With this passing meter, all I would have had to do is just let go of it in this zone, but I held on for a bit too long, hit the yellow, and he couldn't catch it. I have a pretty good feeling if they felt like stuff like that was unbalanced, though, it's not going to be in the final build that we get on launch day. And even Donovan was a little bit confused because he went over to the depth chart. I can't show the player ratings. I don't want to leak anything. But we looked at the catching stats. That's what got him the ball back at the end of the 3rd quarter, up by 7 already, and that's when he pulled off this filthy run against me. That stiff arm is nuts, by the way. This
I mean,
was
he's
disgusting.
putting on a running clip. Bordeaux, you got to stop something, okay?
I'm not sure what you can do to stop him, to be honest.
That is very true. He's one of the best running backs in the game, so he's definitely going to play like it.
I mean,
figuring out the
we're gonna
solutions
stack
hard.
the box, but then that opens up the passing game. It's a little risky.
Oh, he's
no,
so
Oh, he
smart for
stacked the
that.
box. Did we get the animation?
Love,
Good.
baby.
So Bordeaux comes out, says, I'm going to stack the box. And what does Donovan do? Play action, hits the crosser.
I mean, it might be expected, but his football IQ was
Oh.
way above mine.
And it gives it
man.
Donovan, cuts inside.
Got a man.
Celebrate
And then he got
on.
in.
Only
Okay,
so
now we're on
much
a
I
1st
can
and
do
10.
here.
Oh, no.
He's taking
going
it.
for it
a
all.
shot.
He's going for it all.
Is he going to get a DPI?
Is that DPI?
I honestly got so lucky here that he clicked on and ran into my wide receiver.
It's only
Well,
15
we'll see.
Yep.
now. Yeah.
Yep.
Penalty
15.
hunter.
I'll
Like
take
Luka
it.
in the
I'll take
playoffs.
it.
Hey, I like that. That's realistic, though.
Yep.
I like that.
It happens.
That's true. It is realistic. And also what's realistic is sometimes when you have penalties, you're going to get a fan reaction to them being super upset. I love that part. It did give me some life, though, because now I still have a chance. Down 14 with 3 timeouts left in this game. I'm going to get 9 yards here. And I had to go in hurry up mode, but we'll see how much they show.
I'm getting nostalgic hitbacks with the run back to the line. Like that hits that nostalgia taste bud.
Yeah, especially when you talk about tempo and you know, it just really brings a whole nother life to it. The atmosphere, the play, the sense of urgency, everything
This
comes
is
in.
the turbo hurry up mode, so I should get to hike it even quicker.
So you use it.
Look at me. I'm showcasing all the different modes. I got the turbo in there. There's a normal hurry up mode, and I'm doing my job at the moment. Please tell me I don't throw a
You're
pick.
using the turbo right
I
now.
am using the turbo.
And so you can see on the D-line right there, because Bordeaux was using turbo tempo and he snapped the ball quickly, the defense was just a hair late getting off the ball.
The whole point of this was for me to show off a lot of the features, not just beat Donovan, but I'm a competitive person. He's a competitive person. So you all are just going to have to wait to see how the second game went and then how the rest of this one went too. I was able to go out to the flat. The running back was the one player that was open a lot of the time, and that's because he was covering stuff deep, where I then came out with that amazing throw. That's where things are going to pick up here, and listen to what Donovan says.
Hey, he moving it though. I ain't gonna lie.
And so that play, you could see field general activated to where Bordeaux could see that the outside corners were blitzing on the play.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. I was just staring down the route and I was hitting the button no matter what. But Donovan said that I was moving it though, so he was feeling the pressure of my offense that's normally terrible.
I hasn't fallen behind the chain.
Please tell me I finished this drive off. I did.
Okay.
Easy run.
We'll take it. I still gotta come back though.
I'm taking myself out the game.
You take yourself out of the game.
Yeah, I'm done for the day.
Wait, how did they cut to him taking himself out of the game? We have 2 minutes left of football. We need some context for that. I hit the extra point right here. And because I had 3 timeouts left, I was able to kick it deep to him, trying to get a stop. I don't know why they jumped to that. I guess it's because even though I tried my hardest to hold his run, I wasn't able to, even if it was looking pretty promising after this second down tackle. I figured that Donovan was going to come out and throw the ball to pick up the first down and seal the game, and that's exactly what he did. He also made sure that he went down in bounds. But there's still a minute on the clock, so he gets to use himself a little bit more. I mean, it would be so cool to use yourself in a video game. I'd be having a blast with that. And I think you all can see that I just have no answer for his rushing attack. After this play, though, he had a fun time with it. For the realistic aspect of it, the game's over. He needs to put in the backup. And so that's what he was doing right here.
You did your job.
There's 5 seconds left and the clock's running.
Wait, we're looking at the spreadsheet here. You see the little minuses here. These are the attributes.
That's the wear and tear. That's all the attribute hits he took from all of the running that he did. But these ratings are in the official video, so I know I'm not leaking anything.
That Donovan has taken from wear and tear throughout the game.
Donovan, who are we talking to right now?
It's Tony Alford right here. It's my running back coach.
Okay, so after the game ended, he got a call from his running back coach, and I just had to sit there to soak in my loss while everyone talked about it.
Just let you know what I'm saying, that the guys bringing it up, you know what I'm saying? Look, I don't want to brag or nothing.
I don't want to brag or nothing.
There your boy go right there, you know what I mean?
He's a funny dude. Before we started the next one, though, we just had to watch all the highlights and soak them in.
Oh. This is the one.
Hey, I like the breakaway speed, though. The breakaway speed is wild.
There was a big emphasis, too, on the different archetypes and the run cycles that we captured this year. So it really makes the game look fresh. And that's one of the new ones right there.
You're seeing spin moves, juke moves, and stiff arms all being used, and situationally, they're all really, really good.
I can't stress enough how much fun it is to have movement like that in a football game. I'm so glad it's there. And that's not the only area where you feel like you have full control.
And then you combine that with the left stick.
Look at, do you see that? That throw was insane.
That is it. That's the left stick stuff that you can throw in right there. Left stick.
Didn't mean to do it, but you can do it.
So he's full stick. About 45 left. It goes in there and drops it to the sideline.
So you're looking at this play and you see the gap and you're like, okay, I want to throw this ball to the sideline. I'm going to be able with the left stick to actually make that throw.
Absolutely.
That's nuts.
Well, our game one featured a whole lot of Donovan Edwards, giving the ball to Donovan Edwards, and he is able to take down the win, but we had to switch it up. Send him on the road into one of the toughest places to play, Happy Valley. And by the way, we got to give Bordeaux a chance. It wouldn't be a college football game if we don't give them a chance at a get back, okay? We got to see more from Bordeaux.
Okay, will we see more from Bordeaux? What do you all think? And before we dive into that one, let me see what I had to say between the matchups. That first game did not go as planned, but our second one is Penn State, and he's Michigan, of course, coming at Penn State, which should change things up a little bit, hopefully. Hopefully can come out on top there. There you have it. I honestly went into this game feeling pretty confident with the home field advantage on my side.
That's Penn State.
The attention to detail from our presentation team was second to none. You could see it. This Penn State run out
it sounds incredible.
The lighting in the tunnel, to the pom-poms in the crowd.
Donovan, is this pretty accurate?
Very accurate. Very accurate.
I love the jerseys too, crop tops.
You can hear the We Are Penn State chant.
Yeah. That's very accurate. This is awesome.
With their fight song.
My goodness.
I gotta turn the volume up on mine.
Are you kidding me? What are we doing leaving this in the video? We got Donovan talking about how great the environment is, and just for some context, we had 2 mics, one of them attached to each one of our hips. And there was a volume control on it that got knocked on mine, so I couldn't hear this in my ear too well.
Oh, goodness.
I gotta turn the volume up on mine.
I gotta turn the volume up on mine. They left that in the video. Wonderful. That's the most insightful thing you're gonna get about this home field environment from me. Okay. Starting on a 1st and 10, you're going to see I did take a sack.
Wear and tear, you are going to feel that.
Yes, I am going to feel that, and I think they're about to show an archetype. But going into this game, the one thing that I hadn't showcased yet was the custom route stem, so they told me beforehand that they wanted me to do that, and I was like, okay, I'll just get it out of the way on this first drive for you all. But whenever smart routing's also in the game, you need to have a yardage longer than 10, so my plan for this first play was to just take a sack, and then I could show it off on the next clip, and that's what I did. It did take me a little bit to figure it out, but eventually I figured that if you hit the receiver button and then L1, you can move it all over. And take a guess what I did after that. I stared down one specific route and threw it straight to Michigan's defense. This is not how I wanted to start this game. I literally have to win. I'm curious to see everybody's reaction, but I think they're going to talk about an ability first.
You got to watch out for Mason Graham. He's got that platinum pocket disruptor,
That's
so
true.
He's really going to wreak havoc on the O-line if you don't have the guys that can match up with him.
And just to talk about defensive line abilities for a second, if you have a good defensive lineman, you're definitely going to notice it. If you're playing against one, you're going to be able to tell. Because Deion Walker for Kentucky is also amazing. Tennessee is a guy that comes off the edge really fast a lot of the time. And you all are going to see that Michigan's defensive line might be the best in the game. After that, though, because I was able to pull it out, we get to show off the custom route stems.
Pulling up those hot routes, and you start with the L1, the custom stem.
Yes.
What are people going to be able to do with those custom stems when they're doing their hot route?
Before Sykes alludes to the... Oh, we got
That wasn't even what I did.
Here's the custom stem there. Because we're going to get 6.
Yeah.
Bordeaux, what are we doing, man? I need 1.
I know. It's a tough start.
By the way, Nick, the main guy that's been announcing, is a huge Ohio State fan. So he told me going into this matchup, I need you to get revenge, I need you to get the win, and I kind of promised him that I would. We'll find out whether or not that's going to happen. I have the ball back, so I have a chance to get some points.
Go, Nick. Get out of there, Nick.
Oh, what a run.
This is called giving Donovan a taste of his own medicine.
Hey, I like the lion noise on the first down, boys.
You heard that, dude?
Yeah, they do that every time.
Yeah, that is cool. Also, that was my best run of the day. I didn't know if it was going to be possible. I mean, Michigan's defensive line is insane, but the Nittany Lions do have 2 monsters at running back, so looking back on this footage, I probably should have run the ball more because when I did and they didn't get a block shed, it actually turned out really well for me. There was probably something that made me go away from it though, and it might have been a stop like this. Plus, it's just a lot more fun whenever you're passing. I am not a big runner, and that pass over to the running back is going to help me get back on the board. Surely they had that in here, so let's see the live reactions to it. I'm locked in.
Oh.
Not saying much.
Get out there.
You like that Texas route,
Get out
bro.
there.
You like that. You like that Texas route.
What do we got coming? Little Heisman post?
Okay. First of all, Heisman pose, really cool. I love how it looks in this game. That's my favorite besides the Rock the Baby celebration. And second of all, listen to Nick's voice whenever I got into the end zone here. He was so happy.
Texas
Get
route,
out
bro.
there.
You like that. You like that Texas.
We got on the board to celebrate. He couldn't believe it. That is the Ohio State fan in him coming out. And they have included a kick meter for us to see. Am I good at kicking? It looks like
I got road dog,
I'm solid.
don't I?
Yeah, you got Road Dog on.
Road Dog.
Donovan Edwards in-game has Road Dog.
Yep.
Yes, he does. We know his stats on the road. He absolutely deserves it. We hand assigned abilities to the top 100 players in college football to make sure they're represented how they play in real life.
You can definitely tell the players they did that for, like Travis Hunter, for example. I mean, it makes sense. You want the top guys to be represented spot on. But for most of the players, and especially in Dynasty when you're recruiting guys, abilities are just based on certain stats crossing certain thresholds to move up the tiers, because there's 4 tiers for all abilities. I have a feeling they're probably going to explain that at some point too.
For those at home, as they're seeing home field advantage and the different impacts and effects that are happening, as the meter is growing, and depending on where you're playing, there are, we've broken down the top 25 places, toughest places to play. The different impacts are happening. So that could be anything from the squiggly routes to not seeing icons, to every time you bring up play art, it's showing the wrong play. Your back is literally literally against the wall.
Oh, touchdown.
Okay, you can already hear him say, oh, touchdown. How did we get to this, though? I really appreciate the way that they cut things up just so they can explain all the features to you all. But I'm somebody that gets so curious about what happens, I can't even remember, so I feel like I have to watch it back. I mean, I clearly let him go all the way down the field, but I had him on a 3rd and 4, and I just didn't stick with him. I'm getting used to the change of direction, I guess. And playing this made me wish that I'd played a little bit more of Madden 24 and other Maddens. Not because the gameplay feels like Madden gameplay, but because it's a lot closer to what Madden 24 is than NCAA Football 14. My mistake there, though, came before the play. I'm pretty sure that, yeah, I pressed. Why would I press his receiver like that? That was bad. I didn't align them correctly, and he had an easy touchdown. I was probably a little confused at how he got so free, though.
Oh, touchdown. Touchdown.
Got it. Oh, what a pass there.
What are we doing?
You heard me say, what are we doing and what happened over there? I was confused.
Donovan Edwards is a running back. I think he can play quarterback the way he's throwing the ball.
Oh my gosh. I got emoted on in real life. I completely forgot about that. That's crazy though, to see him do it right there, and then it's also replicated perfectly in the game. I mean, they got it down to a T. This replay is just going to show a touchdown.
What's crazy is you're listening to it, you can hear the crowd noise level drop a little bit. Like those momentum plays really affect the atmosphere that you're playing in. You can make those plays on the road, you're going to get a bigger advantage.
That's the end of the first quarter now. Look at that Big Ten animation. I have it on a 2nd 13 on this gameplay.
Let's go, man.
And you've got to be kidding me.
That's Cody. That's Cody for you too. That's Cody Jones, bro.
Wow.
Okay, we're going to break that down. I'm pretty sure we were playing on Heisman, which is why there's so little room for error. He put it on Heisman for his first time playing. So maybe Donovan's not a gamer, but it sure felt like he was. Anyway, I think that's why there was such a big impact whenever we would have those passes like that, though that one should have been accurate. It was blue. I'm kind of curious why it went far away from our receiver. And I hit the button when he was right here, wide open into space, but I probably needed to pass lead down. I doubt I used any pass lead, and that just led to it going straight to that corner, and then he had an easy touchdown, making it 21-7. That cannot be good for Penn State. It's going to affect the players on the field too.
Bordeaux were to bring up coach vision right here with left trigger. He'd be able to view the composure of his players in pre-play. So and you can see the composure of the team. It's not great right now.
There is an effect for that.
Get it. Let's go.
Oh,
bro.
my goodness.
Yeah,
Oh, my goodness. Oh,
That happened the next play, right after.
Overall for you, bro.
Right after.
That's overall. That's a first round draft pick right there, boy.
I had a touchdown. You can definitely see how shook up I was. I had 3 pick sixes for 21 of his 28 points. And I don't claim that I'm ever good at the game. You all do not watch me for the good gameplay. But when I'm telling you that I came out on this drive determined to get points, getting it close again, I'm not kidding. I thought I had a touchdown on that play. And I guess there was that one in between, but he was showing blitz and I just couldn't get R1 off in time. I had him and instead it went to an interception like that. What are the odds that Mason Graham picks up the ball in midair? I'm actually kind of glad that this clip didn't come through as well, because I'm pretty sure I said something about Penn State's passing attack just being non-existent. I was in trouble. How am I supposed to pass with Drew Aller and their wide receivers?
We made sure that the archetypes are so important that the abilities live within the archetype system. Right? Only particular archetypes can get particular abilities.
That was a red pass.
Which is paramount to make sure that we're not really, muddying the water.
I don't think they mentioned it much, though. Ooh.
Hey.
All right.
Spin move.
Bordeaux, smart play there, running away from that side of the field, running away from Mason Graham to the other gap, able to get a score there.
That was a pretty clean highlight. Okay, before we get too deep into the gameplay, I wanted to go back and highlight this play. I had the touchdown the last time, so I went back to it, but you can see the red passing meter, and like I said, it's not a guarantee that your throw is going to be off target or intercepted, but it definitely made it harder for him to catch it, and then he had to break away with his speed, but if he was slower, he wouldn't have gotten that far. Since Donovan gets the ball to start the second half, I knew that my odds of coming out on top were pretty low, but I still had to put up a fight uncomfortably passing the ball versus this Michigan defense, and it was rough. If you want to have success in online head-to-head, take the Wolverines defense. I was told that it's probably one of the best ones in the game, and he was sending in blitzes. It got me to a 4th and 10. I'm not sure I should have picked this up, but I finally got a little bit lucky. All of that's what put me in the position to take this into the end zone, getting it within 14. But there is still a minute and a half left on the clock for him to score too.
There's another one, right? Hit the red. Okay, but now he's
kind of behind him.
Turn all the way back around.
So you don't get that animation where he's moving upfield. He's going to slow down, but it's still catchable.
Exactly, but those are going to really hurt you in tight windows.
So
only had 3 carries. He'd be the most well-rested running back in the country.
Oh, I think he likes this 7 route right here. Nope, he's going to throw the flat to himself.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
and he's open. And look at the breakaway speed.
And a great showcase of two of the abilities that
What was I
Donovan
thinking?
has in College Football 25. You can see it with takeoff right there. When that play started, he got just that extra quick step off of the route.
Bro, the
Yeah, he is
graphics are
quick.
like so nice on this game.
Graphics team did an awesome job. Look at the lighting.
They did. Okay, so somehow I got it down the field with 20 seconds
There
left
it
in the
is.
half. We'll go back.
Bro, I'm reading it.
I threw another interception.
So that was a red pass. It was just slightly behind, but because the
Red pass or not, it should have been a pick. I can't believe I threw that ball. I had the hitch wide open watching this back. I am mad about this read. And there's really no excuse for that one. I was already so shook up with the fact that I had turned the ball over as many times as I already had in this game. And even with the stuff they didn't include on the drive, you can see I'm panicking. I'm forcing it into nothing, just hitting buttons hoping for the best. Because all it takes to beat me is blitzes are a lot of pressure, and even when he didn't blitz, Michigan's defensive line got in, or I just missed a pass with Drew Aller. To be fair, that one was in the yellow though, so I should have missed it, and I got off the halfback screen this time. I'll definitely take it. But we all know how this drive ends. I'm just trying to show as much fluent gameplay as I can. With 24 seconds left, here it is. I think this is the play because that's what I called out seconds-wise when I was reacting, and yep, I just threw it straight to him. His user was really good, and I don't remember if I gave up more points or not before the end of the first half, but I'm really hoping that I didn't, because if I did, that's going to make it 42-15. What a laser. You cannot tell me that someone that doesn't play football games is going to be doing stuff like that against me. And he was trying to make it ugly. He went to attempt his first field goal, but because he had too much power, it did shank. You can see the difference in demeanor though, for sure. I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, I have got to score more points. And he's sitting back. For the first game, he was sitting in that monitor. He was basically right in it. And now he just knows
More
it's
or less
over.
of an animation.
Come on. He had the ball too. Oh no. This might get ugly. It already is ugly.
oh,
Bad user.
That's an example. It's a big play. He's rolling out. He puts a little touch on the ball. And then now that, again, the ratings differential, being able to put the ball in places you haven't been able to before, that really just speaks to the wide open gameplay.
You can see my user's not there.
That's the big bet. Get it.
What a play.
I don't ever want to play Michigan.
That's
ever.
the big bet. Bro, do your dance, gang. Do your dance.
I'm really Donovan to sway out here for a second.
Come
All right.
on, bro.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I said I don't ever want to play Michigan ever again on College Football 25. I mean, I was literally hopeless this entire drive. Look at this. He's just juking my players out crazily. And then Alex Orji has 90 speed or something around that, so he's able to just make great throws on the run to find more open receivers, and that's when we made the tackle, but then he had the play after. I mean, what can you do about this? It is going to be hard to stop. That was actually a strong pitch, and that means he held down L1, so it went to his guy quicker, but let's see what they showed after this.
Everybody eats around here, bro. Everybody eats.
That's crazy. Okay, 3rd and 19.
I'm on every.
It looks like he had a route and he makes the catch.
That's a
As you see
crazy
here with
dog.
Bordeaux, he's going into wear and tear. Now you can see left arm.
So he's losing a little bit of stats in that category.
I feel that.
so the
ribs
individual
or-
body parts are going to pick up the wear and tear. It's not just generic fatigue or your whole body. It's going to be based on how they're hit, where they're hit.
Can we talk about how bad my read was after all of that? Like, this actually couldn't have been any worse. I just threw it straight to him. I mean, to get down the field, I probably did a couple good things, but I missed a touchdown on the play before, which is upsetting. And what even caused the first 3rd and 19? It looks like I just didn't do the right thing with the option. And then I'm pretty sure I just felt helpless behind this offensive line. I took another sack. So it's just interesting to see all of this, but at least I was able to get off a good throw to pick up the 3rd and 19. Back to where we were actually at though, on a 4th and 14, I made an amazing throw. And then it's going to jump to him having a 49-14 point lead, but this is how it happened. They've said in the 3 years of making this game, they have never seen that happen. And it, of course, happened to me. They swatted it down at the line, and then he was able to return it for his 4th pick 6. So that's how he ended up kicking it off here. But whoever edited this actually saved me by not putting that in the video.
We're in the fight song play on the road. Just subtle, not as loud as it would be at home, which is a nice little touch.
Ooh, low
Weather has got
lateral.
to be a big part of this, especially being in the Big Ten. This game's in November and it's snowy. That's going to have an effect on how the players play.
Snow looks good, by
Without
the way.
question, throwing a wet football is a fundamental component of football. And so we had to make sure that that was properly replicated.
I'm glad we got to see that.
Ooh, was that
Ooh.
a motion halfback wheel?
They did that in their bowl game. I forgot who they played.
Nasty.
They did that exactly.
That's really cool, actually. Donovan pointed it out after I ran it, and he said that they ran that exact play in the bowl game. And then EA put it in the College Football 25. I feel like the playbooks are probably pretty accurate.
And they got it in the game.
Wow.
All right,
That
so
was a good
now
throw.
you see, right? Now we got wear and tear here in yellow, so now the impacts are starting to grow.
You could tell the way the ball was floating right there on that pass, the wear and tear.
What am I doing?
It wasn't a crisp throw. Like,
I don't even want to watch the raw
So if I need to get rid of
gameplay
that
anymore.
wear and tear, what can I do in game? Is it subbing someone out? Is it using timeouts? What do I do?
So they heal in multiple different stages. They heal per play, per quarter. Halftime is probably your biggest bump,
one,
and
okay.
then if you're in Dynasty, your road to glory.
They just had a clip of me shaking my head. I'm down like 56-14 at this point, and I never recovered from all those pick sixes in the first quarter. There's still almost 2 minutes left here, though, so I am curious what they've included.
Glory week to week.
It's going to be tough once your quarterback starts getting banged up like this. You're definitely going to notice it with the trajectories, the throw power.
Everybody and just sending it.
Oh, they put this in.
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, man.
That's crazy.
Holy cow! I don't know, Sykes. I have not. I couldn't tell you the last time I've seen that.
No.
That was,
I want to see that catch an instant
whoa.
replay.
I can't believe it worked.
Man,
Oh,
with
no.
32 seconds left. Oh, you didn't have to do it. Why are you dancing? You're down 40. Why are you
Oh, poor
dancing?
Donovan. I'm not proud of it now looking back on it. I probably shouldn't have celebrated there, but I was just so happy to finally score after struggling all day. And because Donovan's a competitive person like me, he was so mad at himself for letting that happen. It was a great moment, though. I was happy.
Why are you dancing?
Wow.
Bordeaux, you know, first time getting to play this. Give me just a quick, you know, your thoughts from getting your hands on this game and how much fun it's going to be. The first college football game in 10 years.
Game again, gentlemen.
Look at you.
Definitely, it's going to be so much fun. I had a blast doing this.
Wow, I really said a lot about the game there. I'm not great at explaining what's actually going on up here in my mind. But Donovan also talked about College Football 25.
Donovan, obviously 2 games. You got yourself 2 Player of the Game awards. Put up a whole lot of points.
Yeah.
Just thoughts on playing the game, how much fun it is, and how much it means to you to be the cover athlete of this game.
You know what? Playing the game, this is amazing. It was very fun. It feels very realistic. Being able to be on the cover of the game as well is a blessing, and to be able to put up points and to rush over for 100 yards per game.
Crazy.
You know, it's great, especially being my first time playing this game. So, he has to get a little bit better before he.
Okay, Donovan, that is uncalled for, but we actually talked about this after they stopped recording, unless they put it in here.
Plays me against. So, overall, it was a great experience.
Yeah, they
playing this
didn't.
wonderful game that has been brought back after a decade.
Yeah, we know how to get the game. Let's go back to this moment. It was not included, but y'all will see what I'm talking about.
He has to get a little bit better before he plays me against. So, overall, it was.
Hey, you hear that? I have the hay pitch. I throw up my arms. This is the sell of a lifetime. But basically, I just asked Donovan if he'd come back on the channel. We'd have our rematch during the football season, probably like a bye week or something when he has some free time. And he said he was down, so hopefully that still happens. Stuff can always come up, though. I'm not going to promise y'all anything. And again, I'm just so grateful for all of you that you made this possible. It's amazing that I was sitting right here next to Donovan playing the first college football game in 11 years for the first gameplay, first look. And the next time that you all see a video on this channel, it should be me rebuilding my first school in College Football 25, so let me know who you think it's going to be in the comments, and I am so excited for you all to see it.